In this daily drop, I'm going to address a question from a viewer related to approaching and working with potential clients, especially in a smaller market. So let's go. All right, kids, here we are, episode 203 of the Daily Drop. I'm still in the weeds, but that is to be expected at this time of year. And yesterday, I had a viewer post a request, a question, a comment, observation, all of those things about working in their particular area or their market. And I'm going to read that to you. I'll paraphrase so you can get the gist of it, and then I'll jump right into it. All right, here we go. Can you do a video about how to approach clients? The area that I live in is one where they don't respect your work as a videographer. For example, many real estate agents think that making videos with their phones is enough, or brides and grooms that want videos of their ceremony and dinner almost for free with the idea that they have a friend who will edit the video for them. All right, so not uncommon things to happen. Um, Possibly not uncommon things to happen in a larger market as well. But I will start off by saying this: after 20 plus, it's really 25 plus years of doing this, it is almost impossible to convince a potential client of your worth. They have a perception of what they think the value of what you do is, whether that's right or wrong. And if you spend your time trying to convince them that, I don't know what that word was, convince them that what it is that you're providing is this amount of money because, and you have to keep doing that, then I think it's a battle that will never be won. And it is also generally true that the smaller clients, the ones that are spending the least amount of money, are the loudest and they want the most from you. That's not one for one, that's not 100% of the time, but it tends to be that as you start to step up to that middle to higher end tier of client who understands what it is that you do, the value that you bring in terms of video production, um, that they are more receptive to what you're providing them, and they also don't scream very loudly. They will if you mess it up, but if you are very clear in terms of what it is that you're providing, then it's generally not a problem. Now, my take on, it's not even my take, my approach to putting a project together is something I've talked about in the past. But very simply, what I'm first trying to do is gauge whether or not that potential project is even realistic. So, what I might do is instead of sitting down with a client that I've worked with before or that is asking the right questions and we're going back and forth, and put together a comprehensive proposal and a budget for that project, which will serve as a blueprint, I might ask some questions. And if I'm getting those answers, then I'll put together a quick budget sheet, which is just a one off to send off to them and say, but here, pre production, production, post production, equipment, all of that stuff, and then send it to them and say, this is about the range of what we're looking at. It's going to be $10,000 to $15,000, $50,000 to $60,000, whatever it's going to be, and then gauge their reaction. And then if they're like, "Yeah, that sounds about right," then you sit down and you write a comprehensive proposal. Man, I'm all over the place today. So that's what I would say is, I look for these red flags when it comes to potential clients, and it's a big one if they are expecting everything for almost nothing. And it's probably not worth your while to pursue those clients because in the end, you're going to work 10 times harder and you're not going to get the acknowledgement that you probably should deserve. So it's kind of a realistic, steeped in reality answer to the comment or question that was posed. Um, If a real estate agent thinks that they can do it with their phone, then they're never going to hire you to do it, even if it's $1,000 or $2,000. If you have a bride and groom who want you to film their ceremony and their dinner for almost nothing, and then they're just going to ask you to give that footage to somebody else to edit, you know the story. You get it. Go after the kind of work that you want. That's not always easy, and it could be real estate. It could be people in the wedding and event space, but you've got to find the right people. If they don't see your worth, it's probably not worth pursuing. It's just going to be a headache all around. That's what I got for you today. Stumbled through it, got there in the end. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.